back again, and today we're talking turbos. Big turbos, small turbos, twin turbos, bi-turbos. And what do they all mean? Well, they mean power, speed, and lots of noises. Yes. Now, if you're anything like me and you love your cars, you definitely love turbos. I mean, what's not to love? They're pretty. And they're just really fun. But how do we understand turbos? To understand turbos, you need to understand how an engine works. And for that, we're going to go back to basics. Imagine a cylinder within an engine. Imagine that it is a pump, and what that pump is doing is dragging in air and fuel and then pressurizing it and causing combustion to then give you power. So how does a turbo come into this? Well, these big bad boys compress the air going into the cylinder, giving you a quicker and more efficient burn, and thus giving you more power. Now these are turbos. Now what turbos do, in a more explained way, is, I shall show you. I've got to move it first. It's a big one. I'm breaking everything. Right, so you have two sides to a turbo. You have the cold side, which is this side here, and you have the hot side, also known as the exhaust side. There's a massive difference in the castings. Obviously this one is just pure cast, where these can be aluminium and X, Y and Z different materials, because they don't need to withstand exceedingly high temperatures like the exhaust side does. And I'll explain that now. So for the exhaust side, air from your exhaust will enter into here, and what that does is inside you have the turbine. That exhaust gas will spin this turbine, and as it spins this turbine, there is a shaft that goes through to the cold side. That's right, you guessed it, another turbine. So as the exhaust side spins, it spins the shaft, which in turn spins the cold side turbine as well. The exhaust gas are pushed out through the exhaust, and we forget about them and let Gretna Thunberg think about them, or whatever her name is. So as the front turbine spins, this is dragging in air into this big Mahusif mouse. Look at the size of that. It's dragging in cold air and compressing it, really compressing it, making it denser. We went over air density in a previous video. Check it out. As the air gets denser, it is pushed through. It does get hot from being compressed. The friction of the air makes it hot. So what do we need to do? We need to pass it through an intercooler to cool it down. It's the easiest and most simplest way to cool that charged air down. Once it's hit the intercooler and cooled it down, that gets even more dense, and that is then pushed into your engine. The more dense the air, the more force the induction, the quicker your engine will burn the air and fuel mixture, and the more efficient it will also do that. Which, in turn, you guessed it again, means more power.
I don't think you have the facilities for that, big man.
So why not just get the biggest turbo you can get hold of? Well, there's a couple of reasons why you would go for a smaller unit like this. If you get a really large turbo that is way too big for your engine, you're going to struggle to spin the exhaust side. I'm hoping that front side's spinning as I put my finger in here. I've had my finger in worse things. You'll struggle to spin the exhaust side, which in turn will struggle to spin the cold side, and you'll get a little thing that we all hate called lag. But don't worry, because engineers did solve this problem by putting a small turbo and a big turbo together. It's like a mother and son combo. Mother and daughter combo? No, that's not it. Also known as twin turbos. I mean, what could be better than one turbo? Two turbos! What the engineers did is they used a smaller turbo like so, and they used this to start spinning a larger turbo. So the way that this works is, let me spin around. Even on your hot side, as the exhaust gases come through to spin that spindle, the turbine is still compressing those exhaust gases, thus making your exhaust forced, if you would. It's not induction, there'd be another word for it, which I have forgot. It is then forced through to the next turbo, to the next exhaust side at the back here, and that extra pressure helps turn the larger turbo, thus giving you a twin turbo. Not only that, if you put them in sequential order, you'll also lose a lot of lag. So there's a couple of gates and valves that will open and close when needed. Your small turbo will give you boost to a certain RPM, giving you boost until it's time for your larger turbo to kick in, thus reducing lag, but never getting rid of it. And if you want to look at some cars that came from factory with twin turbos, we've got to go back to the 90s. The noughties, the 90s, oof, what a time to be alive. FDR X7s, Mark IV Supras, the world was a better place, and it was also a lot cheaper than what they are now. Jeez, you know what I'm saying? Whew, 70 grand for a Mark IV Supra is insane. But these cars came twin turboed, so go and have a little Google search, have a look at them. And whilst we're at it, let's give a big shout out to the Swiss. They had a guy called Alfred Bushy, who was the creator and engineer who designed turbos in the first place. Thank you, Swiss. You've not just got good chocolate. So a question we get here at Turbozentrum all the time is, can I turbo any car? Well, the short answer is yes. You can turbo any naturally aspirated engine. However, there's always a but. However, the difference with an NA, naturally aspirated stock vehicle, is whether or not the internal parts of that engine or the engine itself, the castings of that engine itself, will take the additional pressure and strain of a turbocharger. So you could fit, like so, boom, onto the manifold, boom, turbo, plummet in. All your modifications are going to make that a little bit difficult than just a standard service. But if you do manage to get it, the next hurdle is how much pressure can I run? And it's not something that's always easily answered. Per example, a 1 litre Micra. Let's slap a turbo on it and run 14 psi of boost pressure. Probably not going to handle it well. Running about 4 psi, it might just suffice it. It might just keep up with it. We don't know. There will be a calculation out there. Myself personally, I have no idea if there is. But yeah, you can turbo anything. But who cares about all that boring, oh, my engine will blow up stuff. Let's just turbo everything. Anyway, that's it for this week. This has been Turbos. If I've missed anything, let me know in the comments section. If you want more specific answers to certain questions you may have, again, drop into that comment section. Drop us an email, whichever you want to do. It's fine. I'm here. I'll help you. You help me. We all learn together. Hey! If there is a product that you would like us to speak about in more depth or go over, something that we've not gone over, we've done intercoolers, we've done water meth a little bit, we've done turbos. If there's something else, drop it in the comments. Let me know. Let me bring you what you want. Guys, don't forget to subscribe And thank you very much for listening to me. I know I waffle on a lot. See you later.